Bienvenue. Les aventures de Frank et Ben. Troisième série. Frank and Ben go back to Perkins on a Greyhound bus. Quatrième histoire. Frank and Ben go back to Perkins, part 4. The bus comes to a halt in front of a small store and coffee shop. A large sign on the store says Cucamonga, the mosquito capital of Canada. People start to get off the bus to get something to eat or drink, or else buy something in the store. Through the window of the store, you can see all sorts of mosquito souvenirs. "Look at that," says Ben. "What a strange place. Why would a town be proud of its mosquitoes?" Suddenly, the young man who was harassing the two young women comes up from the back of the bus. With him are his two friends. As he passes Frank and Ben, he says to Frank, "I'll see you outside." Then he moves on towards the front of the bus and gets off. His two friends, one with a t-shirt reading Tweedledum on the back of it, and the other with a t-shirt reading Tweedledee, follow closely behind him. Joking around and with big smirks and confident looks on their faces, they follow him off the bus. The two young women sitting across from Frank the young woman sitting across from Frank says to him, "Stay put. We'll get you whatever you want." "I'm not going to be intimidated," Frank answers, while getting to his feet. At the same time, Carlotta Hardbottom stands up and stares disapprovingly at him as if he were a misbehaving boy. "Do I have to plant myself squarely in the aisle to prevent you from leaving this bus?" Immediately she plants herself squarely in the aisle to prevent him from leaving. It looks rather comical and ridiculous because, besides wearing thick glasses and having a chubby, non-athletic body, she stands a full head shorter than Frank. At the very same moment, the three young men appear alongside the bus and start looking into it. They are looking for Frank. When they see Carlotta preventing him from getting off the bus, they start laughing and pointing at the two of them. Without saying another word, Frank pushes past the feminist, who, although tough-minded, is not physically strong enough to stop him. He goes directly to the front of the bus and gets off. The three young men watch him as he saunters into the store. They now speak conspiratorially amongst themselves. It looks as if they are planning something. "I think they're going to cause more trouble," says Ben. "Oh dear," says the young woman sitting near the aisle. "Oh dear is right," says the other one sitting by the window. "I told you something like this would probably happen. I told you we should have taken the plane." Both of them, however, are sufficiently hungry and thirsty that their fear of getting involved in some further unpleasant incident does not prevent them from getting off the bus. Meanwhile, Carlotta continues to stand in the aisle and think hard for several moments. When she arrives at some decision, She then follows them off. Ben watches the three young women get off the bus. They seem so different from one another. One is extremely beautiful, but rather cold and standoffish. The other is rather plain-looking, but friendly and sympathetic. And the third is a type that Ben has never encountered before. While thinking about all this, he also tries to decide what to do. He is deathly afraid of getting into a fight, and yet he does not want to abandon his friend. But before he can come to a decision, he glances outside and sees a rather surprising sight. He sees Carlotta Hardbottom marching vigorously up to the young men and, showing not the slightest trace of fear, begin berating them for their behavior. Though he can't hear her very clearly, he sees that she continues to hold her ground even when the young men become mocking and malicious. Even when they start jeering at her and telling her to clear off, she does not let up. She does not back away an inch when they insult her with vulgar, abusive, and sexist language. All of this, of course, ends up attracting the attention of the other passengers. They gather around quickly and watch this strange contest between an odd-looking but highly articulate woman and three rough-looking but not so articulate men. Seeing that she is outnumbered and being treated badly, it is not long before one or two of the other passengers speak up. They take her side and even back up her warning that if the young men cause any more trouble, the bus driver will be informed. It now begins to look bad for them. Unquestionably, the wind is out of their sails. There are too many people against them. Even the two young women join in when, after having come back from the A&W with hamburgers and soft drinks, see what is going on. Like the others, they approve of Carlotta Hardbottom's resolve and courage. They admire her for standing up to the rough-looking young men. They cheer and encourage her. Frank then comes out of the store. As usual, he looks calm and unruffled. He is not one to show fear or nervousness in a bad situation. However, this time there is something different about him. What is different is that he is carrying three grotesque and floppy-looking mosquito souvenirs. They are big and stuffed and ugly-looking. He goes up to the young men, hands each one a souvenir, and with a solemn expression on his face says, "Peace." Immediately everyone breaks out laughing. They laugh at Frank's serious face. They laugh at his stupid-looking peace offerings. They clap in approval of Frank's humorous gesture. At the same time, they hoot derisively at the young men. Shamefaced and humiliated, the young men hold their souvenirs. They look like insecure little boys. They clutch their souvenirs like little boys clutching their toys. The bus driver then turns up. Everyone gets back on the bus. Everyone is in a good mood. Everyone is happy and having a good time, except for the troublemakers.